What is up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerdcastle for the next episode of Weekly Indie Newcomer, the weekend series where we take a look at an indie game that's been bouncing around my brain over the course of the last week. This week is, of course, brought to you by Loot Crate's Loot Gaming Initiative. If you wanted to get cool gaming swag every single month, check out the link down below and give it a little clicky. Today we're taking a look at Project Highrise. Project Highrise is essentially a game that's a very, very lightweight casual builder in which you take a high-rise and you build it up and you decide which clients are going to live in each area. And you can have apartments, you can have offices, you can really have whatever you want. You kind of just watch the whole thing grow and expand from there. It's not a tremendously difficult game, but at the same time, it is pretty entertaining, and I played it for the greater part of yesterday and the day before, and found it to be something that I liked. I mean, there are little things that I would change around, and there are little things that I would move, but it was fun. And so anyways, we're going to do a new sandbox game. There are scenarios that you can do right here, where you can set up like, you know, a merchandise mart, where essentially you have to have lots and lots of stores, things like that. You're trying to make it into like a towering mall. There's other things where you can go like Lake Point Tower, which appears to be the heart of the city. It has swankiest restaurants, hottest clubs, and thronged theaters. You can also do neighborhood revitalization, which is essentially where you just have to revitalize a building that has already been built. And so you got to get rid of the units that you don't like, put in new units. I like the sandbox mode better. I'm always a fan of sandbox gaming. I'm not a big fan of, you know, people boxing me in or giving me directions. Just turn me loose and let me do whatever I want to do. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to do a new game, 330 West Diversey Parkway. Difficulty level will be standard. Lot size will be extra large because I'm going to play this one after the episode's over. Let's get started here and you guys can have a look at what the game is like. So here's our building. The second you start playing the game, there's a little clock down here. It starts ticking. You have workers. They work different hours. Different people will be in different parts of the building at different hours. So just keep an eye on that. You start out with $10,000. It's not a ton. You can actually burn through it. As a test for myself, I actually went through and started just building haphazardly in one of my playthroughs. Just like, I'm going to build whatever I want to build right now, and I'm going to do it very, very rapidly, and I went broke. It is possible on the standard difficulty to go broke, so just be aware. It says that it gives you a lot of cash, but you can do it if you're not careful. You can definitely do it if you're not careful. We've got all kinds of stuff we can build. We've got loans. We've got a thing called Buzz, which allows us to get marketing campaigns. We've got Influence, which allows us to trade that influence for permanent buffs from either the government, I think there's the government, there's the art industry, and there's a third industry. What's the industry? Yeah, there's the art industry, there's politicians, and there's operations. And so anyways, these will allow you to lobby in politics to get like more traffic coming through your area, stuff like that. Aesthetics will allow you to get art studios, allow you to basically build up the creative minds inside your building. And then operations will make it so that your maintenance workers and your basically the guys that you hire to make sure everything works, get little buffs and bonuses, better offices and things like that. For right now, we started out with a construction office. Our workers should be here very shortly. We started out with a stairwell. And we started out with a electrical conduit, which allows us enough electricity for 10 units. Giggity. I am going to build another stairwell right here. Once the building gets bigger, we will consider installing an elevator. But for right now, I've never done this before. I wanted to try something new. I've never built stairwells for my first couple floors, and so I just want to see what happens here. The next thing that we're probably going to want to do is we probably want to connect electrical lines. If we click on this right here, it gives us the electrical grid, the phone grid, the cable TV grid, the water grid, and the gas grid. Different companies, different tenants, different people that need different functions will need different things run to their rooms. In general, it's easier just to run everything to everywhere. Yes, but then you're misallocating a lot of resources, and it's not going to be long before you have conduits of every type just clogging up your basement. So keep that in mind as well. I will also start out down here by making an underground food court. You get to this by clicking on the construction menu, and then you're going to click on add more floor pieces. Bam. I'm just going to let that do its thing because we are going to have an underground area where we will have lots and lots of, like, I don't know, we'll probably have restaurants on one floor, and then from there, we'll probably expand out. I mean, you can actually expand the horizontals right here, too, if you want to. On top of that, we've already spent $1,000, so we want to be very, very careful about all this. We are going to go up another floor with another stairwell. Don't put in too many stairwells, though. If they have to go up more than like 2 or 3 flights of stairs, they get all butthurt and grumpy because physical fitness is hard or something. I don't know. eventually what we'll do is we're going to expand this out and we'll put an elevator on the backside. So people want to take the elevator can take the elevator. People that want the stairs can take the stairs. So the stairs will be on the front side, and then from there, this side will have an elevator that will go up very, very high to like the 40th, 50th floor, and the stairs will only be here for people that I apparently feel the need to do it. I don't know. Let's see if our workers are going to get here anytime soon, because we have a lot of construction queued up, and I need to make sure it happens. There's our workers right there. So they've come in. They're ready to do work. Apparently, they've got to read the paper first. I think they start their shift. In fact, we should be able to find out. Works at the construction office. He's happy. Another day, another dollar. Maybe we click on the office. It appears as though they're just going to do their thing for right now. He's grumpy because he can't get breakfast. All of your workers have needs, so just be aware that you're going to have to deal with that. It'll probably take them a bit to get the stairwells renovated. It'll cost us, I think, $40 a day to maintain the stairwells. You start out with this one as a freebie, and this one is a freebie as well. They now need to build these various floors that we have going on, which they will do right there. They'll go through and they'll start installing some of the tiles. You can't actually place anything in on these tiles until these are completed. In the meantime, though, we can get stuff set up for tomorrow. So 3 offices sounds great. I haven't run any power. We are going to need that in order for offices to be there, so bam. Now the offices have power. What I may also consider doing is adding an extra spot right here. Well, you can't move stuff around after you put it in, so it can be a little bit difficult. But we want to keep this consistent. We want to make sure that there's a power conduit on each floor, or a transformer, I'm sorry. Or I'm sorry, a wiring closet. There we go. That's what we're looking for. The wiring closet allows just the wires to go through and get to the next floor up. That's all that it does. Electrical transformers actually generate power from the grid. They allow it to be moved around. So we've got 3 offices right here. These should allow us to get started. We have insurance offices that want to move in. So they just need an electrical line and they expect copy services. So if we don't have copy services, we should probably go ahead and get those. So my recommendation for right now would be that we click on this little box right here, which is our services box. And if we wanted to have copy services, it'd be $300, and we can place it just about anywhere, but it'll cost us. I would say that copy services should probably go in the basement. So let's put copy services right there. Once they get all this built, they'll come up, they'll give us copy services. Oh no, he's going to split the labor. Good, fantastic. Now, the copy services have no power, so they are also going to be hurting in the booty. Let's give ourselves a wiring closet right there that can be utilized. And once the wiring closet is in, we have to wait for somebody to build that. Same with wiring. We can just go like so, and it'll be all good to go. The workers for the copy place will move in just a minute. We get paid at midnight. So what we want to do is we want to get tenants in before midnight. We can check the accounting offices. If the accounting offices don't require a phone, sure. Hire them. They pay more money, and they're the exact same thing. We'll go with Central Incorporated, which is an insurance agent's office, and we will also go with Eagle Incorporated, I guess, since all of those are $90. We now need to have copy services, though, on top of courier services. So let's go ahead and get courier services all good and ready to go. Courier services, there they are. And that's alright, because what we'll do right here is we'll drop another transformer in. It'll be fine. Now, the services that are inside your building don't pay rent, as far as I know. They're just kind of there. I think they start paying rent the second that we build this, so... Oh, maybe they don't. We have to have it built before midnight, so there it is. They'll get these offices built, though, and today we'll absolutely have somebody around taking care of things and actually paying us rent. Next up, they'll need to renovate that floor. It'll be perfectly fine. I'll put in another closet, 3 more offices. We'll be banging it on out. But that's not the only thing that's available to you. You can build apartments. Apartments like to be above the ground floor. They take up a little bit more space. However, if you've got the extra space, it can work. They don't like to be in noisy areas, though. And you do have overlays and stuff like that that you can use to figure out what areas are noisy and which areas are not. We can also sign contracts. So we started with a contract. Hold on, let me clear that out. Proof of concept. If we can take in $1,000 in rent per day, we will get that contract and we will get paid. There are also other contracts that we can look into. Namely, we can have a look at more people needed, which means raise your population to 50 people. Done. Sign the contract. That'll be easy peasy enough. Now, most of these offices are only going to support one person, so bear that in mind. They should come into work very, very shortly. And one thing they're going to be they're going to be upset about it. Believe you me. They're going to be upset about it is if we don't have some kind of food court here. So I'm going to put a food court in right there. And we're going to let them bid on it. We've got 2 Go Authentic Salads and we've got Missouri Road Soups. They need an electrical line, so I'm going to drop that in first before anything else comes up. Cool. I got the power. Okay, we're sharing the power. It's fine. Expanding our grid out right there sounds good to me. We will also drop in some office space. And then from there, we have accountants that only need an electrical line, so I'll bring them in because they pay better. And then these guys right here need a greater variety of food court restaurants. So I'm going to put in a soup stop. They serve lunch. We both have lunch places, so what are you going to do? And then we'll drop in another insurance place, whichever one pays the best. And since they all kind of do the same thing, who gives a shit? It'll be fine. That's always my go-to excuse when I'm building expensive civic projects. Who gives a shit? It'll be fine. Who gives a damn? It'll work out, Morty. So there it is. There's our Missouri Road Soups. Now, this will cause a smell. And so anyways, if you wanted to take a look at various things, you can look at satisfaction. Look at profitability. Not that profitable just yet. We can look at aesthetics. We can go with which rooms have the better view, which rooms have more traffic, where are the elevators, how much noise is generated is very, very important. So every now and again, it's not the worst idea to maybe think about having blank floors, just noise reduction floors. So floors, for example, with creatives are not quite as noisy as floors with like insurance offices and things of that nature. Smelly areas, people will have different things that upset them. And so anyways, you can look at that through there. You can also look at the grids that are available through there. So there it is. Let's let time flow for a little bit. Couriers are moving around doing their thing. We have several more people moved in. It would be my suggestion that we should come up with some kind of further expansion to the building. So I'm going to add 4 right there on each side. Just make it happen. We'll also carry that down that way. I don't recall how large elevators are. So, if we wanted to have elevators, I think they are 3. Yes, indeed they are. So I would have to add 3 more to each side to make this work the way that I want it to. There we go. We'll add stairs right here. Just to cut costs a tiny bit because elevators are expensive. Very, very expensive. So be careful about the elevators. That cost can build up on you. And right now, we're already losing money at the end of the day. That's okay. You got to spend money to make money. You got to lose money to have money. That's just the way it works. That's the way it works in life, I can tell you. You got to invest in order to get something out. I do wish they worked more formulaically on things. We can see how many people came in here. They made $75 today. Wait, how have they made $75 if they've had 0 customers? These guys are bummed out because, well, that one's happy. This guy, too bad there are no dinner spots here, so he wants to have dinner. Unfortunately, the only thing we have on offer are lunch spots, which are troublesome, but it'll be all right. There's nothing stopping you from building out from here and making it kind of like a stubby dagger-looking building. It's up to you if that's what you want to do. On this side, we're going to build elevators going up this way. So this will be where the elevator is at on every floor. I actually think I would have liked this game better if it was a top-down view, because then you could orchestrate hallways and stuff like that. Like the side view, the cross-section is cool, but it limits the dimensions that you can use. It seems weird that there's a maintenance guy walking through every office in order to get over here to work on this office, you know what I mean? And so it would have been cool if it was from the top down, and then you could just work the offices from there. Alright, now we're not going to build the elevator just yet. Instead, we're going to see what we can do with regards to restaurants. So people like restaurants. We'll drop one in right there. If we don't have anything that looks like... See, that's a lunch place. We want to get a breakfast place, a lunch place, and a dinner place. I'm going to decline those. And then I'm going to put in an advertisement for people to come along. And that advertisement is going to take roughly 2 minutes of in-game time. And that actually correlates with the clock right there. The next thing that we're going to do... we're making money now. Fantastical. Probably going to need to build more electrical very, very soon. But you know what? I can live with that. So let's go ahead and drop in our offices here. I messed up right there, so I need to bulldoze that. Let's go ahead and kill that office. Meanwhile, we will drop yet another right here as soon as it's finished. There we go. If you're going to build apartments, what I would suggest you do is create a tunnel with an expansion so that this building is quiet, this building is noisy, but it has all the restaurants and stuff that people want to go to. Just an observation, just a thing that may or may not work. You can't make a sky bridge because you have to have supporting structures right there. Maybe later on you'll be able to, but can't do it right now. Let's get some new tenants, yeah? So anybody that doesn't require phone services is welcome here for right now. Everybody wants phone services. That means we're going to have to spend a little bit of money to make a little bit of money. So I am going to put in a basic phone switchboard, which is one of the reasons why I wasn't really that upset about having this extra space right here, is because it's all done and planned for and ready. In the meantime, that gives us enough phone service for 10 connections. Should be good enough. Let's take some phone line. And we actually need a wiring closet right there. Sounds great. Wiring closet is in. We will run phone lines to this floor. Now, technically, if I wanted to be super efficient, what I could have done is I could have put this on the outside and then put these on the inside, because this doesn't need a phone line. However, I may optimize and see what I can do in order to get a phone line to them. These are all going to be fancy offices, so we'll run wires to each of them. Everybody needs power. That's just something that you're going to have to learn to deal with, is that everybody in this game requires power. Like, there is a ridiculous amount of power you're going to have to build along the way. If I do that, it might be too expensive, so I'm not going to did that. Instead, I'm going to do that right there. We'll buy the better power stuff later on, but that makes sure that... Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, yeah, we would have overdone it with our power. I think they count, too. I think. I'm not totally sure. I don't think I know. So they need a phone. And we just spent a bunch of money, which means we need people to come in right now who are paying a lot of cash. And legal offices tend to be those guys. Food court. They serve lunch. They serve lunch. That's unfortunate. Decline. Try again. You guys. They want more food court restaurants. Okay. Well, I will move you guys in right now. If there's anybody in the insurance industry that's looking good, it looks like we're stuck right there. We'll wait and see what happens here. We need to get somebody that's got breakfast, and I prefer to have somebody that has dinner before we start putting in more lunch spots. Alright, we have a new set of people. We've got breakfast and lunch from Midway Burritos, and we've got Midtown Wraps. I'm going to go with the burrito joint because I am a burrito hog. I love burritos. They are the best. Burritos are amazing. And so now we got a breakfast place, we've got a lunch place, we focus on getting a dinner place, and we will run the full gambit. Now this down here is going to be an underground food court, I think. I haven't totally decided yet. I may expand that out in different ways. Not sure. Accounting offices appear to be happy now, so we'll bring them in. Legal offices, I didn't mean to run that ad. That was an accident, but you know what? Screw it. We'll have legal people here. It's just $75. We'll renew our contracts. Contracts, I think, come through in the beginning of the morning. Ooh, quality burritos. Hell yeah, buddy. How much money have you made today? We had 10 customers today, and we have one regular who likes us. Essentially, they should have a captive audience right there because there's nowhere else to eat. I mean, apparently your workers are incapable of leaving the building and going somewhere else for lunch. I don't know exactly how that all plays out. That bus stop seems further away than I expected, but our lot is pretty big right now. This is basically the super funsies way to build a tower in sandbox mode, is you give yourself essentially endless space. I do think the developer should not have anything happen. So this is normally the time that you're going to build and you're going to do maintenance and stuff like that, is at night. But there's no maintenance to do. They need to add another button that allows you to skip till the next work day. That would be greatly appreciated. Congratulations, you completed the contract proof of concept. We now are getting paid. We're making over $1,000 a day, even though our balance book will only say 100. That's because you've got to look at the budget if you wanted to see right there. See, we've got expenses. We're actually technically taking revenues in of $1,250 a day, but we're spending the $1,000 a day. So That being said, we're set up for some decent expansion right now, so I'll probably go ahead and do that. Meanwhile, for the people that are going up all these floors right here, we will go ahead and install elevators right there, so that if people want to be lazy, I guess they can be lazy. And from now on, we're not actually going to put in stairs any longer, because that gives us a chance of having people go up too many stairs and then they get upset, so we'll just leave the stairs how they are. We got a fire escape. That'll work. You know. Let's see who we got for today on our overall drink cart lit. That list, that'll also afford us some extra space to put in new places too, which is really, really good. We need to keep the electrical closet cooking right there. So let's take this, wiring closet. Got that all nice and set up. Over time, these buildings will get wear and tear, by the way, so you will have to repair these. There will be a little repair button right here once they start to break down a little bit, but I think it requires a maintenance office. They need a phone line. Yeah, bring them in. Trying to make money now. Oops. That was an accident. What I would also like to do... Is there a bus stop this way as well, or is there only a bus stop on that side? So say I wanted to make a second entrance on this side of the building where people who just want to live can go. Oh man, you're paying big money over here. Okay. You are also paying big money. You're in, chief. For them, we need somebody that does dinner, which would be fantastic. Serves coffee and breakfast. That would work out, and then we could evict this guy, but I'd like burritos. We need a dinner place, though. We need a dinner place badly. Coffee and tea is a big deal because your workers like it, so coffee tends to make a lot of money. I'm going to decline it, though. Let's see if we can get somebody in here who serves a mean dinner. And then for you, bring one more in. He only needs an electrical line, so for right now, that's all he's going to get. You guys over here, though, need all of that good shits. So we'll get some phones run. I love that noise for some reason. That noise makes me so incredibly happy that it does. It's the best. Those offices should be done well before midnight. They serve lunch. They serve lunch. What did we get down here? Oh, we still have coffee and tea. Yeah, let's do the coffee, because coffee is kind of its own thing in this game. Like, people will just have an irrational desire for coffee. And so, coffee is its own thing. I do wish that you generated revenues from the stores based on a percentage rather than them paying rent. Like, they pay rent, but it'd be cool if you got, like, I don't know, just like 10% of whatever they sold. I don't know. We probably make less money, though. Yeah, they only made $94 today at that one. The tri-traffic area, we're gaining more regular customers. We're up to 605 a day. The days are a little bit long. I would recommend that they put a button in that says skip the next business day. Maybe make it cost like $100 or something like that so that's not totally free. Because sometimes you just need to wait for a couple of days and generate cash. Like, I left the game on the other day while I was taking a shower, and then I came back and just did a bunch of maintenance, and then I had like $30,000, and I was like, alright, cool, I can expand again. We are probably going to need... Let's see, we've got 13. Yeah, we're probably going to need more power conduits soon. Cost of doing business, I suppose. We're going to stick with the small ones. As far as phones go, only got phones running to, well, 8 offices, so we're going to need more phones too. So we'll do a phone switchboard here? I was going to say I wasn't positive if that would actually transfer over, but you know what? It'll work. We'll keep this for infrastructure over here. That'll keep our phones up and cooking for a little while. Those cost, what, $3.50 a day? So we just lost our surplus, which means that today we really, really, really need to build some shiz. And not only that, it needs to be profitable when we build some shiz. Technically, it would be more efficient for me to bulldoze both of these and then build one of the big ones, but it's so expensive. Well, actually, no. Those cost us 500 a day, but they give us less out, so eh. One thing at a time, I suppose. Let's start dropping offices in. You guys didn't finish work on the corner spot. Damn it. Sometimes they work so erratically. Like, it seems like they work formulaically, and then this right here leads me to think that maybe they don't. What's he upset about? I want to grab some dinner, but where? Okay, so they're having trouble actually making ends meet. Nobody's going there. Because they have access to burritos. Why would you ever get soup when there's burritos? Why would you get the healthy option when you could just feel bloated for the rest of the day? Bloated with happiness and chorizo. Why? Don't make no sense. Alright. Well, let's decide who we got here first before we really start stacking on the costs. So we got nobody there that really looks that great. They need a phone line. They need an electrical line, as do they. Creative offices are ready to move in. They need bottled water service, which is yet another expenditure, but they pay really, really well. Yeah, let's bring in the creatives. Let's do that. So we'll give them electrical. Give them phone lines. In general, you want the elevators at the end, by the way. I should have done the elevators over here and then built this on the inside, because then I wouldn't have to run power through an elevator to get to these sides of the buildings. I'm still learning efficiency things. It's a long, difficult process, okay? Alright, so creative offices are ready to move in. We got Cox. We've got... Yes, I know. I know. And they just pay so much better than everybody else. And so we might as well just bring them in and see if we can offset the ridiculous cost that we incurred today. Because I think I may have cost myself a lot of money. There's no more creatives ready to come in, so right here I will settle for an accountant. Hopefully they'll finish some of these offices before morning so that we can actually make a bit more money on the transfer in of new characters. But yeah, this is called Project Highrise. If you want to get the game for yourself, I got info for you down below. I hope you like the way the game looks. It's a really relaxing, casual game. It's not a hard game. It's a game where you're just going to hang out and build a building and watch the whole thing evolve. You'll renovate floors later. As you can see here, you get bigger offices, you get HQ suites. I mean, I've only gotten to the large offices, and they take up like huge chunks, and they have tons of employees. The game is a lot of fun. I could definitely see you putting a good 20-25 hours into this game before you get your first skyscraper done. And so I will see you all next week. This is Weekly Indie Newcomer, the weekly series where we take a look at an indie game that has caught my interest over the course of the last week. This week it's Project Highrise. I'll see you next week, everybody. Hi do.